Why is it so important to have non-truncated titles? Well, shorter titles tend to perform better. It communicates a strong, clear and concise message. It also shows that the title doesn't hide anything for the viewer, so it makes the title more trustworthy and the content more trustworthy. By truncation, often the message of the title gets lost. The most important part of the title is often truncated. With all the effort that the creator put into his video, hours and hours of preparing, of filming, of editing. I found a perfect example of this. Chef Wolfgang shows you how to make... What? This shows you also, by the way, how important a thumbnail is and that a thumbnail should complement a title. From looking at 107 titles, I noticed that the longer titles often look more spammy and clickbaity. This is because a lot of YouTube creators tend to stuff a lot of keywords in the title just to be found, but they often forget that you need to optimize for humans instead of the algorithm, because the algorithm reacts to human behavior. And also it annoys me when I can't read the whole title. So I took matters in my own hand. I researched 107 video titles on YouTube for mobile and desktop and looked at where they were cut off. But I also noticed something very interesting, because on every part of YouTube, so home or suggested or your channel page, that truncation length is different. It turns out that YouTube homepage on desktop has a safe character limit of 55 characters, so below 55 characters it isn't truncated, but it's definitely truncated above 65 characters. YouTube homepage on the mobile app is safe below 50 characters and truncated above 60. The channel homepage on desktop is 45 characters safe and is absolutely truncated above 55 characters. The channel homepage on the mobile app is safe below 40 characters and is truncated above 45. YouTube search on desktop has no limit when it comes to the amount of characters, so it isn't truncated. But YouTube search on the mobile app is 45 characters is safe, 55 characters is truncated. YouTube suggested on desktop, 55 characters is safe, 60 characters gets truncated. YouTube suggested on the mobile app is 65 characters safe and 70 gets truncated. Notifications on desktop and on mobile have no limit when it comes to the maximum amount of characters, so it isn't truncated. For hard data, check the study on my website, the link is in the description. So what conclusions can we draw from this study? First of all, titles get truncated very quickly on mobile. Second, a YouTube video title length below 50 characters has a low chance of truncation, so try to keep your video title within 50 characters, but 45 if you want to play it safe. And third, titles above 60 characters almost always get truncated. One of the things that I found interesting is that truncation doesn't happen after a fixed amount of characters. Sometimes with the same amount of characters the results are different. So counting characters is not a foolproof method. I see a couple of reasons for that. First of all, YouTube uses the font Roboto, and Roboto is a non-proportional font. That means that not every character in the alphabet takes up the same amount of space. For example, the letter L, you can have 3 characters L that take up the same amount of space as one letter M. Second of all, screen size does matter. The YouTube desktop site has a responsive design, meaning that it scales according to the available screen size. Also, my Android phone has a far more enthusiastic truncation algorithm than my iPhone. Number 3, they say that size doesn't matter, but size does matter in this case, although the women in my case say The font size is different on different browsers on the same OS, at the zoom level of 100%. Although I have to say that Safari is pretty secretive about what is 100%, but in the case of Chrome and Firefox it isn't. In order of the biggest font size, on number 1 is Safari, on number 2 is Chrome, and the smallest font size has Firefox. Okay, what can we do to make our titles shorter? I noticed that a lot of creators try to stuff their creator name in the title. Why do you want to do this? Because everywhere on YouTube, when you see a video title, you see also the name of the creator. It only leads to truncation and it will do nothing for your search results. I also noticed that a lot of creators put the episode number in the title. Why do you want to do that? Because then viewers can watch episodes in consecutive order. And to be honest, I don't think that a viewer thinks, well, I've watched episode 2571. Let's now watch episode 2572. I think it's a little bit different for part 1, part 2, part 3, for example, because if the first part of your title is the same, it can help you in suggested. Crafting a good clickable title is hard, and I'd love to give you some pointers in this video. I've also developed a tool that is on my website called the character counter, and that counts the amount of characters and gives you a report on where on YouTube your title is truncated. The link is in the description.